Good morning. I know today is normally a live session, but today, because it's a teacher work day for us, because we have to go pack up the rooms at the school, and we found this out on Friday. I'm sorry, Thursday. Well, it wasn't that long ago, but we found it out. So we have to go and pack up the room. So today, you're going to have a recorded session. Now, some of what you're going to be doing today, again, is going to be a review. It's going to be that last lesson we did before we left in March. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we'll get started. Okay, so our lesson today is going to be on lines of symmetry. And if you remember, a line of symmetry is an imaginary line that passes through the center of an object or shape and divides it into identical halves. Now, here are some examples. So here we have an isosceles triangle, isosceles meaning that both sides are equal, and the third one is not. So if I draw a line of symmetry right down this triangle, then that means that this side is exactly like this side. So it's like you're looking in a mirror, and when you look in the mirror would be your line of symmetry. You would be on one side and the image would be on the other side. So that's what makes a line of symmetry, something that you can kind of relate to in real life. Here's another line of symmetry in this rectangle. Notice that this line of symmetry goes here, which makes this whole side identical to this whole side. Okay, so one side here is identical to the other side. And here's my line of symmetry. But this rectangle has more than one line of symmetry, because if I take it and draw a line through here, even if I cut it in half, the top part is identical to the bottom part. Now you might remember us folding paper. We took sheets of paper, we took a square, and remember we folded in half. So here's my square that I folded in half. So my fold would represent my line of symmetry, which means that this side looks exactly like this side. So they're symmetrical, okay? Remember me talking about back in the day how girls used to wear asymmetrical haircuts? How one side was short and the other side was long? We call that asymmetrical, because one side was different from the other. And in order for it to be symmetrical, they have to be exactly identical, okay? So let's go back over here. And let's look, we have another equilateral triangle, and this particular triangle has 3 lines of symmetry. And then here's a square. This square has 1, and then it has 2, and 3, and 4. So a square has 4 lines of symmetry. Now, a parallelogram doesn't have any lines of symmetry, because if I cut a line straight through here, that means the lines are going to be, the sides are not going to be identical to each other. They have to look just alike. Now, a circle has so many lines of symmetry that we call it infinite lines. It goes on and on and on. And if you remember, we talked about a circle having infinite lines of symmetry. It means that it has so many, it's too many to count. Okay, so let's recap. Line of symmetry is an imaginary line that passes through the center of an object or shape and divides it into equal halves, okay? So just equate that back to the day that we folded the paper. And remember, the fold would be the symmetry. And then this side is identical to that side, okay? Now, I have a short video that I want you to watch. And it's going to give you a little fun way to remember line of symmetry. So watch this video. Hold on 1 second.
Ferris wheel, a circular shape made out of steel. Before we ride, we try to decide where a circle's lines of symmetry hide. Lines through the center have symmetry, so each circle has infinity. Each line, upon further inspection, creates a perfect mirror reflection. Everywhere we look, we see the line of symmetry, line of symmetry. As the pirate ship, we wait our turn. This ride can make our stomachs churn. A line from the axle to the ground is one line of symmetry to be found. Identical parts facing each other have symmetry with one another. Lines of symmetry evenly divide. Let's find symmetry on every ride. Everywhere we look, we see line of symmetry. Line of symmetry. We see the roller coasters loop-de-loop has a line of symmetry between the loop. A mirror reflection on each side is where the lines of symmetry hide. Then we see a mirror and realize symmetry disguised right between our eyes. A line divides each side of our face. We see symmetry all over the place. Everywhere we look, we see line of symmetry. Line of symmetry everywhere. Line of symmetry. It's time for lunch, we've got a hunch that symmetry's in the food we'll munch. We look at a cracker, it's a square. We see 4 lines of symmetry there. To the 4 corners, they were gone, leaving us with a cracker octagon. We looked a bit closer, then to see the regular octagon's 8 lines of symmetry. Everywhere we look, we see lines of symmetry. Everywhere we symmetry, everywhere we look, we see line of symmetry. Everywhere we symmetry, everywhere we look. Visit numberrock.com for exclusive content, lesson materials, and more. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so hopefully that will help you and will joggle your memory.
We get it. You don't really want your kids watching videos, but it can have certain advantages. But what if your child could be kept busy, have fun, and learn all at the same time? That's where the Adapted Mind math program comes in. For ages
Okay. Let's continue on. Now, if you will, please go to 87 in your book that you picked up from your packet, page 87, and it should be lesson 12 problem set. This lesson is going to be very quick, and you're going to find that you have less problems with this packet. So let's begin by looking at problem number 1. It says, circle the figures that have a correct line of symmetry drawn. So remember, a line of symmetry is a line. It's an imaginary line that passes through the center of the object or shape and divides it into identical parts. So I'm going to do 1A. We see in 1A we have an arrow, and I will change the view on this. Okay, so in 1A, we have an arrow, and it also has one line of symmetry that has been drawn. And I want to see if this is a correct line of symmetry. So here's my line of symmetry that's been drawn. And I need to see if one side is identical to the other side. Okay? So let's color that in. Let's see. One second. Mark this in place because it seems to move every time I touch it. Now we got to start over. That's okay. So first thing we're going to do is to make the line of symmetry bolder. So you do the same with yours. Draw your line of symmetry. Just retrace what's there. All right, now we're going to look there and see if this is a line of symmetry. Remember that both sides have to be exactly alike, okay? What is technology today? Come on now. All right. Let's color it in. And you shade yours in. Come on. Let me just try a different color. See if this works. Oh boy. Let's see. We're trying to see if this side, I shade it in, and you lightly shade yours in. So it's almost that if I had this on a piece of paper, that I folded it on the red line, does it look like the other side? Would they be congruent on both sides, mean exactly alike? So I'm going to try to shade one in yellow and the other one in green. And if you only have a pencil, that's fine. Okay, so when I shade them in, do they look exactly congruent? Yes. So one side looks exactly like the other side. So I am going to circle that figure because the line of symmetry has been drawn correctly. Okay, that's my 1A, the one to do. Okay, then I'm going to go to 2B. And I'm going to look at 2B. It says find and draw all lines of symmetry for the following figures. Write the number of lines of symmetry that you found on the blank underneath the shape. So I'm going to do 2B. So the first thing I'm going to do is see. I draw a line through here. When I look at this side, is it identical to this side? And I think they are. This is a square, so this one would be pretty much. Now, if you need to turn your paper where it be an exact square and not a diamond, so you could see it, then do so. So, okay. So that's one line of symmetry. Remember, it says to draw all lines of symmetry. So that would be one. And I'm going to put a little tally mark right here. Then I'm going to erase. See if I can find another line of symmetry. Let's say I draw a line through here and pretend like my line is straight. Is this side identical to this side? I would say yes. So that would be two lines of symmetry. So I'm going to erase that line, and I'm doing this so that you're able to see all the lines of symmetry. Okay, let's use choose a different color. Let's say I draw a line through here. And I look at this portion and I look at this portion. Do they look identical? Yes, they do. So that would be 3 lines of symmetry so far for that particular shape. So I'm going to erase that one. Let's see if I can draw another one in a different place. Let's draw one down this way. Pretend like it's straight, guys. I don't know what's going on with my technology today. But this side is definitely identical to this side. So that would be 4 lines of symmetry. So this particular shape would have 4 lines of symmetry. So I found them all. One was that way. Then I had one across this way. Then I had one down this way. And then I had one this way. So that's my 4 lines of symmetry. So that shape had 4 lines of symmetry. Okay. So just remember, lines of symmetry are lines when drawn down the middle that makes both sides identical. And remember, always refer back to the day that we took a piece of paper and we folded the paper in half. And when we folded the paper, it created a line of symmetry because it made both sides identical. Here's my line. So here's my square. Here's my line. So that makes this side symmetrical to this side. So they're identical. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is you're going to do problem 1D and 2E. So you're going to do this problem here and this problem here. Okay, so you're going to do those 2 problems. You're also going to turn to page 89 in your book when you're finished. And you're going to do the exit ticket on that page. Remember how we used to do exit tickets after each lesson? So you're going to do exit tickets. Your exit ticket on that page 89. And then you're going to go to your Kahoots. And you're going to enter only your name, just your name. And you're going to go in there one time. And you're going to answer the question in Kahoot. Okay? So remember, today you're going to do 1D, 2E, and the exit ticket. Okay? All righty, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.